All right, so we got to do another Tesla video. Tesla down Friday, 2.57%. You know, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. It kind of hung in there. It still didn't break this level of support right here, which I need to draw a trend line right there. And, you know, that's about the only bright side I can come up with. We have to remember overall with the monthly that Tesla is still in a downtrend. This is what I try to enforce on every video. So the tide is against us. Don't matter how bullish I am, the tide is against us until we break that primary downtrend. All right, but markets, you know, Tesla is not going to do much. And I've been dropping a lot of Tesla videos and been bullish. Been bullish for the most part, but starting to feel, you know, and it's not necessarily Tesla's fault or anything that Tesla is doing. It's the market. Tesla is really not going to be swimming upstream when the market is just doing things like this. You know, this is Friday's price action with the Dow down 336. You can see the market, it for the most part, when it opened, it, which was a big gap down, it basically just stayed there. It didn't even try to bounce. Lots of red on the heat map. And when you look at Tesla on the heat map, which is the right here, it's pretty bright. It's one of the worst stocks. One of the worst stocks, at least one of the worst mega cap stocks on here. There's some little tiny ones in here that's bright red, but so just a little disappointing. And you know, it's not gonna have those kind of days when the market is just it was a bad week. You know, it was a bad week, so I'm not super excited about this video. I mean, the S&P down 2% for the week. I mean, yeah, so we can't really expect our stock to just be running in such an environment. Now, you guys know that I'm gonna go to the, let's go to the daily. Right here was my price target for, and this it just to reach investor day. Investor day is March 1st. I'm looking at the calendar right now. March 1st at on Wednesday. And I thought we might flirt with this area with the excitement going into it. And I did feel that way if the market could have continued its strength, but it's not gonna, I might have to pull that back. If we have good bullish days on Monday and Tuesday, maybe it might creep up there, but it's really extreme. I might have to pull back on that. Look at the stochastic, man. Look at how it's just peeled over. We talked about it when it was breaking here. That's why it's highlighted. And it's basically saying sell. Okay, I just gotta put it that way. It's just saying sell. Let's go back to the hourly and let's just talk about it. And then I'll talk myself up to the daily, weekly, and monthly to kind of what I'm seeing. And it's not seeing much. So I got these lines. Oh, this is the ugliest chart you'll see from me because it's just been pretty, it's a task. Trade Tesla. The thing is super volatile. It's got a 1.5 beta, so it's going to be more volatile, you know, like trade like 1.5 times more than the market on any up day and down day. That's why you guys is watching me, because you can make some money in Tesla, right? And you know what? You can lose it as well, especially if you're on the wrong side of the trade. And that's what we don't want to do. Now, look at my moving averages here on the 1 hour chart, right? It's just, they're crossing zigzag, zigzag, zigzag. It's really nothing here. So the only thing I can see, we are in a downtrend, a short-term downtrend from February 16th, right? All the way down here. We did break it, and then very disappointed with this gap down. I actually lost some money here because I had a put spread. I thought it would stay up here, so I put a short-term 2-day put spread on, and I was like 200, 197.5, I think, a little small trade. And we gapped down on the day it was going to close out, and I was like, oh man, I thought it would hold and kind of hang out in here. If it would have just opened above 200, I would have made money. I was making money all the way until the gap down. So, it was a terrible trade, This is what happens when you trade these short-term options, but I've been nailing them. Hey, so I digress. Let's move on. So anyway, we had the gap down, and a gap down, stay down, right? And it did not break this level of support here, this 193, which is a good thing. But this is all there is to see. Very disappointed that it kind of, you know, we broke above that trend line and then right back down. So we're still kind of above it if I would extend this out. But I don't like it no more. I don't like that trend line. I'm actually starting to like this one. I'm actually starting to like that one right there, which, you know, just downtrend. All right, so let's go to the daily, see what we have going on here. And not much, you know. I'm seeing we had little head and shoulders forming right here. You know, this is the ugliest chart you could see. Right, and this was what was making me bullish as well, giving me that little price target. We didn't quite, you know, we still messing with this last shoulder here. It could either draw, and maybe we do reach this on a breakout, or it just kind of breaks down, right? It just doesn't happen at all. So what we have though is an uptrend, and almost like it's flagging. I won't call it a bull flag, but it's flagging, a consolidation. That's a better word for it, right? So it's consolidating in this area right here. This is the ugliest area. I'm so sorry, but I want to keep these lines on the chart just for a little bit longer. Anyway, so we're consolidating right here, and hopefully we can break through and not break down. You can see the slow stochastic already broke down. And this is why it's highlighted right here. We talked about it, and I'm like, oh, it's coming down. It's just, you know, just disappointing. I think that I'm letting my excitement for the stock outweigh what I should be saying, and that's sell. Sell, right? But I'm more of a long-term trader. All right, I'm a long-term trader, so I'm not really panicking on a daily chart. I don't even really like doing daily charts. I like weeklies and monthlies, but the daily chart is basically telling us to sell. All right, I don't really use my crossover method on the daily charts because it's just a little bit too short term, and that's between the 9 and 20 period moving average, and it did not cross over yet. So this is saying don't sell. This is saying sell. Okay, so it's a little conflicting. So let's go to the weekly chart. Now the weekly chart is stochastic, looks good. It's starting to, consolidate for the most part, but still looks good. The buy signal is not there for the moving averages crossover, right? It's just not there yet. So it's kind of saying, you know, we should have sold back here, but it hasn't been time to buy here. But here's the thing with this as well. We had 100% move off the bottom, and this thing did not predict that. Right, so I got in early with short term and just kind of using common sense, like, oh my God, they are throwing Tesla out with the baby. Yeah, they're throwing Tesla out with the bathwater. You know what I'm saying? They're throwing the babies out with the bathwater, and Tesla was one of them. Tesla was the baby. So I was in. I was like, I got to get in. I got in about 105, 112, somewhere in that area. And I rode it all the way up, started dropping Tesla videos. I love the ride and the rally that we've been having. And you do too, because that's why we are here today. Both of us trying to figure out what this stock is going to do. Anyway, consolidating. That's what it's going to do at the week. You know what? I can't stand it no more. I'm clearing all of this stuff out. I got to get it out of here. All right. Sorry about that. Bad quality video. Anyway, we could draw some lines, right? So this is what we're trying to fight through, right? And, you know, this area, it's a little range. Just remember, when you're talking about support and resistance, not all the time it's just like this level right here, boom, or this level right here. It's more of like a little range, but we're trying to break through. And you can see what's happening here. It's not really happening. Look at these candles drawing these upper wicks. I was really concerned when we drew this candle, right? I don't like to see these inverse hammer candles, but look at what happened the next week. We almost took it out. And I was like, oh, okay. We got the volume. We talked about this for videos and videos. We got the volume, and we almost took out this inverse hammer. So that means it doesn't mean nothing. They basically scratch it, I'm going to say we did take it out. Scratch it, because what should have happened, we should have been just kind of keep going lower. So the bulls took it back. And this was a positive candle. Okay, so even though it's an inverse hammer, we did close the week higher than we opened the week. So that's good. But the price action for the week was bad, as we could not hold these upper levels. But the next week, the bulls came through and basically went right back to the highs. Now we're just doing this candle by candle. What happened this week? They took those highs and tried to bring it right back to the low. And this is why it's early still. It's still, you know, we don't necessarily have to worry too much, but we might need to start to worry, because if it breaks, it's going to break a lot. Okay. And that's what usually when you come out of consolidations, we're going to blow through to the upside. And that's why I still kind of like my target a little bit, because with Tesla, we know that's nothing. It can have a 15-point day, 2 back-to-back 15-point days for no reason. Or we can break down. And if we break down, the market's probably be getting crushed like it was last week. But anyway, one exciting thing about this candle right here is this volume. Even though it was above average, which is that yellow line right there, it wasn't as much volume as the bulls were bringing, right? The bulls was just like buying it up, right? It was excitement. And then when it was time to sell off, they was kind of like, you know, I'm not selling for the most part, you know, but the bulls did bring it down. So that's the key. The most important thing in technical analysis is the price. Okay, so it went from the high of this candle 209, and the low of the candle was 191, and it closed at 196, almost closed at the low of the week. So kind of bearish right there. Let's look at the monthly. The monthly, this one, I'm not bullish at all when I look at the monthly, except for the stochastic and the volume. But this is the chart where I keep continuing to stress that we are still on a downtrend, right? You can see we're right here. You can see these support lines, resistance lines really clear on the monthly. We hit it and we're almost just pulling back, trying to take that trend line. Right? How about that? Imagine it hits that right point. We tag the point, we tag it another point, and it just starts to come down, and we make a lower low. Now, my mind is saying, nah, we ain't breaking 100. We're not breaking this level right here. But you know that stocks can do anything they want to do. If it wants to break 100, it could break 100. I mean, it's getting ugly out there. The macroeconomic pictures, especially when you talk about the WAR and the UKRAINE and RUSSIA and now IRAN. You get my point. There's a lot of things going on along with the Fed and the interest rates, right? A lot of numbers came out last week suggesting that the Fed's he's got to put his foot back on the gas. Maybe we're going to go 50 this time. Maybe we're going to do a couple of more 25% basis point hikes. You know, and that's what the market is afraid of. This is why the market was down 2% last week. This is why. Anyway, so there's a lot of things happening. And for stocks just to start rallying through it, I mean, I guess that's good news. Because, you know, if stocks are rallying on bad news, that's kind of good news, right? Rallying on bad news is kind of good news overall. But when you think about just what's happening out there, it's probably not really good news, because it's a lot of unknowns. How could the market predict what's going to happen with everything that's happening, right? So a lot of chess pieces are moving, you know, and that's how I can just basically sum it up. But we have a huge level. You know, that level of support. I don't want to break this level down here. Not at all. Not at all. But we hit, and it's struggling. It's struggling. Only thing I like like I told you, is this right here, which is still, it just turned. It still didn't break through. It's still not heading north, which is what I want to see. But we do have the volume, right? We do have the volume spiking it up. So I'm happy about that. And there's something that's bothering me a lot. And I'm going to show that on the next video because I went way too long in this video. And I'll show that on the next video, make that one real short. All right, so thanks for watching. Tell me what you think about Tesla. I'm sorry I was a little all over the place today, but that's what it's making me feel like. I feel like this hourly chart where I don't know. I mean, look at my moving averages on the hourly. See how we're going up, even though that fast is squiggly, but we're starting to just peel over. You know, it's almost like, now what? All right, so anyway, thanks for watching. I'm Dre Trades. Comment, subscribe, hit the bell, and we talk on the next video. Dre Trades, I'm out.